You want. My name is Caliburn, and welcome back to... It would appear that my, yeah, my, that's not right. I'm gonna have to change that really quick. Just a moment. Could be fixed now. Yeah, I'll give it 10. Probably already changed on my end here. Oh. Yes, yes it has. Very good. Okay, we're back. Just had a funny little bug where my thumbnail didn't upload. I fixed it though. Oh. Ah, it's the daily stuff. Why have to do those? Oh, I'm a fool. I'm a big old fool. Okay, well, what's going on? Record of gratuity. What? Oh yeah, a Mondstadt event. Not every day you see one of those. Okay. Oh. Not sure why it's still notifying me of that. We will do some of that stuff then. Thanks to me having completely forgotten it. Man, I'm so good at being a Genshin player. Oh, grab a bounty. Immune to Animo. Wasn't planning on it. an odd feature for that one. Yep, we'll just grab all of these, and I get 420 XP each time I do everything for one city, so join us for a wonderful adventure. We'll be in Sumeru for a bit. Level 5 will get me the lamp. I like the lamp. Lamp is good. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of those. I should probably be doing those. Oh, that's underground. This one. This one will bring us where we need to go. Oh, this is not my exploration team. Oh, it's one of these puzzles. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. Fantastic.
An impressive bounty.
We are heading northwest, correct? Correct. I am pointed right at the center of that place, too. Gilly Charles.
Transfixed.
Oh, he's over there. Turn. And poke. Yeah, it's gonna be up on top of that mountain. Up by what appears to be a Fatui camp. Wait, wasn't I just here? You don't want the smoke. You do not want the smoke. Arla's got the smoke you don't want. And a little bit of fire with it. After all, you know what they say about smoke.
I'll put you on hot. Let's move.
Didn't even get his shot off. What a shame. Oh. Needed one more poke. What's up, Rip Town?
As one with wind and cloud.
Rain cutter. Everybody stand back.
Well, that didn't last too long.
Laid bare.
Oh. Oh. You missed.
greater
Yeah,
pleasure is there
which-
than the unexpected.
What shall we do? We shall climb. Wait. Oh. I wasn't expecting that to open up like that. Okay. Activate. Aww. Interesting. Okay. So then we go back to Sumeru City. Same. And vulnerable to Animo. I was really banking on that. Oh, I see it. The coward.
This is where you fall.
Now we have that one done, we will do another one. Animation cancel. Claim reward. Another one. Okay. There it is. Whoops. There it is. The hunt begins. It's either going to be on top of here or it's going to be underneath. Oh, I think I see it. Do you think I see it? I think I see it. Hi.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
Witness the power of good work. Teamwork is teamwork. Laid bare.
Well, that did the trick. Journal. Didn't realize that was that close by. Here you go. I have 152 apples. Don't ask where I'm storing them. They are in good hands. Okay, level 29. Ooh, and this is where we get the weapon. I'm trying to think, because I know I needed a weapon for a certain character, but now I don't remember what it was. Wait, hold on. If I go to the battle pass, then will it show me? Oh. I can't like scroll through them, but I think it's that one. Who needed that? Was it? I think Nivelette needed it. Expedition. Yeah, I'll take care of that later. There was 2 fungal quests. One right over here, which we will take of in rapid stuff.
Transfixed.
Poke. Well, you live. Poke. 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 The next one is here.
The wind knows me.
Laid bare.
Poke. Poke. Rude.
Witness my rise. Transfixed.
Oh, there's a chest here. Poke.
Ah, something with which to commemorate this occasion.
Yeah, I guess that's it. So, oh, 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 1 second. Bag. I think I'm 1 short. It's upsetting. Just a single one short. It's gotta be one around here somewhere. Probably in here where I haven't explored. Hello, Iman. Welcome. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. It could be Iman as well, I suppose. Good.
Ad Astra Abyss.
You have a question? What is your question? English, or you mean German? What's about the what's the question about? Welcome, Gaglardi Maru. I think I've seen you before. The grind is going painfully on the artifact. On the artifact front. I want to be able to get good artifacts for once. Just choose one. But I don't know what the question is.
Thank you for completing today's commitment.
Like, if you're talking like languages I can read both. Yeah, I need that. I don't remember what I need it for, but I do need it. Do you speak English or German? I can speak a little bit of German, but my primary language is English. In other words, ich spreche Deutsch, aber ich spreche English. I'm not as good at speaking German as I am reading it. I can read it pretty well. Okay. It doesn't work in a chat. Web event. Yeah. Got me on the other GI streams. What is GI?
Time itself is a science.
I wanted the craft. Genshin Impact. Yeah. Gastrointestinal. I've never seen it abbreviated that way. I tend to just see people just say Genshin. I go to other. What? That was odd. For a moment, my internet wasn't happy. But yeah, I hang around in other Genshin streams and actually just other VTube streams in general. I suppose GI could stand for multiple things. So, in a way, my question is still justified. There you go. We play European server. I am not on the European server. I am in North America server. Okay, can't offer anything here. I guess I probably did that last time, huh? For him.
Traveler
don't
and
know
Paimon.
about
Good to see you.
him.
I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding?
We are
We're
both
missing
on
for the
North
world.
America server
We've been
then.
looking forward to it.
I can tell, but you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us
I'm
to
too
take you
tall.
to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment. I'll fetch the tickets.
Sorry about that.
The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
Ooh, front row seats. Thanks,
So
Winnie.
we are about to see a trial.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lenny, could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll
Would
be
you
right
just
there.
look at it?
Seems there's an
Would
issue
you
with the stage
just
props
look
over
at
there.
it?
That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
just go to our seats. You go ahead, Lenny.
We'll go up here. Whoa. I think I saw like a little cinematic here. Is that Novelette? I think I just saw Novelette.
Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit down.
Doesn't sit down. Oh boy.
Hey, traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still, it's kinda awkward if we don't say anything.
Isn't that usually your job?
You little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
He can definitely hear you.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would
Let's
be
go,
perfectly happy to chat with
Chase.
you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that. Good job. Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down.
We could hear your voice echoing throughout the entire theater.
Wait, that's not it. Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So let's talk. But, what should we talk about?
This is getting even more awkward.
Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's too?
The look on his face right now. He looks so like dumbfounded and disappointed all at the same time. He's like, "Wha-
A
Really?
friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot to make her introduction.
I can see the regret in his eyes.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet, what an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Isn't this supposed to be like a
Wait.
court hearing?
Nervillet? Could he be...
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him.
Index.
It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Right.
Ooh, sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really.
Very humble.
And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to. There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now.
A pose?
I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become flustered.
Oh boy.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before!
I wonder what this is going to be about.
Ooh, they're dimming the lights! The show
These
must be
seats are
starting!
mighty big and mighty far apart. You'd think it'd be, like, really densely packed.
Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Can still hear you echoing.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today.
What is this?
Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
It works like that?
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say.
Why'd the music stop?
You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless.
Okay.
Huh?
I wonder what cards are falling out of there. Oh.
But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky.
Oh.
Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes.
I don't... Okay.
It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do.
Oh.
Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Found a clothing duplication glitch. This could be useful.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Hyman didn't see him do anything! Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
No wonder he's a famous magician.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking.
True.
To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough, but Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now.
Sorry, I had a cough.
There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick.
Whoa.
A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow, how's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
Let's watch and see.
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate.
How do we
Now
know
then,
it does that?
let's begin.
That looks like a B.
Oh, let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have
Way in
the
the
chance to
back.
experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
I've been there.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like.
Isn't it supposed to be a whole minute, though?
I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up.
Okay.
Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh, Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that.
With the whole crowd counting together, you couldn't even if you wanted to.
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
58. 59. 58.
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52?
Going too
Why aren't you
fast.
counting, Neuvillette?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy the show.
Oh, welcome back to Stream Team 7.
Alright. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something.
I am doing quite well. Little tired, though. That never stopped me. How are you doing?
40, 39, 38!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine, I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that,
Okay.
Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all.
It's... Maybe he's just supremely confident in his abilities. Oh,
What was that noise? Did you hear it too?
that was a bat. Did it come from the stage?
Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about it.
Shouldn't be.
25,
24, 23. You can... I can call you Timothy or Tima. Alright. Oh, yeah, I remember now.
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19, 18, 17.
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10,
9,
Almost there now.
8.
Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7,
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5, 4, 3,
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0.
Ooh.
Ta-da!
He even made party poppers appear. Fire in a wooden hall seems like a poor idea.
What happened?
Was that part of the show?
Is this part of the show?
Sorry, serious moment.
Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Ooh.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of justice.
She seems uncertain.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe.
He was in the box?
Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage.
I just said something about the fire, and, you know, being in a wooden opera hall.
As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found.
He must have been sent to the fortress of Meripede.
It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance.
Huh?
And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
Okay.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
And to pull it off like this in front of an audience, including the Archon and Chief Justice.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh?
Oh.
Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
Oh, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not?
It's one of his assistants, though. Would he just, you know, off an entire assistant?
Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right. How can Linny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We could even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
It's hard to believe all this happened during the show. Not to mention... Have they all been connected to Linny's performances?
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
No, it doesn't.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
No.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent I'll be facing. That's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Linny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met.
I trust Linny.
Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met. But with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome.
Well, they can be interesting in chess.
So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
Showmanship.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this case?
Yes, I am.
Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the
Attorney,
Opera
I'm
House.
not
Both
clear.
sides may investigate the scene to build their
Not
cases
qualified.
and search for the truth. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House.
Oh.
The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
The laugh is kind of disturbing.
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Mildly.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Me.
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal.
No more fire, okay?
I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
Maybe you could be charged for the death of Cal, but not for the disappearances case. No.
Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not, and I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did.
It was the decoration, it was out of place.
Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
There is no denying what happened.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
Where did you get those glasses? And what book?
Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting.
Yes, thank you so
Oh,
much.
didn't mean to skip it, my bad. I won't let you down.
Yeah, just leave it to us.
Qualify. Someone.
Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Oh, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
Gonna ask for that
The
as
secrets
payment.
behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it.
Right.
But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case! Hello, investigation going?
This is a very weird way to start a conversation with a cop. We're Linny and Lynette's attorney.
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Too late for that now.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see.
Oh?
The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cowell. Even though he hadn't joined the troop long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him.
Right.
The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged.
Mm-hmm.
As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowell inside it to find any traces of the girl.
The white paint. We gotta do the white paint thing with the body.
However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
We've only recently met.
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for a little while.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys.
I don't think he convinced us to act as his attorneys. We volunteered for that.
I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
But it's not always true.
Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
Case record. Oh boy, I get to be a detective. It's an entire menu. Investigation looking the cards indicates for... Yeah. Is perception skill? We drew the white line. We drew the white line. Yeah. Whoop.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall.
Yeah. Like, here, cut at the end there.
The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks?
So either Linny didn't realize this was a safety concern, or...
Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler?
It's attorney time. I'm just looking at where the rope snapped.
Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
Seems to be flammable, like flash cotton.
Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means... Wait! Why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes!
Write that down, write that down. Okay. Whoop. Let's talk to this guy. Maurice. What a name.
Hello there. What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
We're Lenny and Lynette's attorneys.
Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself.
Okay.
Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show.
I wonder if we'll be able to find her.
Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects.
Makes
Simply put,
sense.
she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
But you don't have a suspect for them.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
Thank you.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us.
Yeah, and I'll be looking around the area to make sure that the person isn't
It
around.
is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Mm-hmm. Esmond. Yeah, I mean, it's a tank full of water. That's gonna be heavy. Talk to Quentin.
The
Okay.
investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
Aww.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
But it was
What
still
were
the
you saying about
assistant.
the...
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time.
Didn't I say earlier that this thing was definitely not a random number generator?
I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Thanks. Sorry to bother you.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
I go up to the box. It's probably got something. Ooh. Right. Doesn't carry an elemental tray. Isildur.
I see that you're
Isn't he like a
investigating
ring
the area.
guardian?
Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be
Is
sure
it
to share them with me,
Isildur?
alright?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
It looks
The
like
way
an
I see it.
inventor.
And I'll start it with that loud thud.
Oh.
Thud? countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
Right.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something like that.
No, that can't be it.
And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
The water tank would have swung.
Oh, that's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that sound?
Right. Ooh. Oops.
Lenny's still talking to the guards. I think someone will be assigned. Lenny's
Molly.
still talking to the guards. I
No.
think someone. Lenny's still talking to the guards. I think someone will be.
Huh.
Lenny's still talking to the guards. Let's see. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright. Lenny's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be
I don't know why I can't talk to her. This was the seat in question. Oh, I guess I already got her. Oh.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here!
Navia!
I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
She's stuck on repeat. Welcome to Corneria. Welcome to Corneria. Welcome to Corneria.
Huh? You mean us?
It's,
That's right. If I'm not
Dimension.
mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth.
Rose
No.
puns.
And by the
Okay.
look,
Well, you're right on the mark
Oops,
about
didn't
that
mean to
one,
skip that.
but who are you?
have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
Rose's name is literally a medal.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
His diaphragm is engaged. He is like really trying to get his voice out there.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My
Previous title.
apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that
Totally a
instead.
mafia queen. True.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
Fair enough.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
So you want to investigate as well?
That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time.
Well, I could
Judging from the
imagine
look
you
of
would also
things,
have a
I
small
find Lenny an
hand in the
unlikely
matter.
mastermind.
Just you don't want to be caught up in it as well. True.
We think so too. That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
In other words, the source is I made it up.
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Lenny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
Yeah.
But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried
Never
away.
noticed the fancy thing on Navia's gloves. Everyone in Genshin Impact has such fancy gloves.
Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges.
Yeah, those are
And,
pretty
of course,
fancy
There
gloves.
was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Wow. Smarter than, like, most of my fellow people. How did this happen?
All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute. Did that answer count?
Shouldn't have.
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
No. Weird.
Well,
Not always. Shouldn't make a show of
And
murder.
why would that be?
Doing so makes it easy for the truth to fall by the wayside. Well, I'm just... That's the closest argument I have. Like, in some cases, it can be a little too serious.
See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with flying colors.
That was a test.
Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
wait.
Hmm?
When did we become assistants?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant, sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
Fair enough.
That's more like it.
I think you're missing the point.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth.
I feel like intuition isn't like worth anything in court, but I mean...
You wish to save
Oh,
a
well.
friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
Yeah. I got a gut feeling that he killed her.
You have a
What?
point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister?
He definitely talks.
What about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
A hat?
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lenny's tricks. Then,
Oh. Dang. Okay. Melusine?
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
Look, man, I just really want a burger.
Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here, at least, not from that point on.
What about during the show?
I doubt there was much opportunity then either.
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave.
What if they vented?
We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here.
Not through the entrance, no.
Alright, thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
Sus. Yeah, they might have vented.
We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Right. Can I... Oh, I can't open the thing. I want to open the thing so I can look at...
Then I will be going with
thing. Halsey. Painter.
you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
Wrong time for magic, Lenny.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've
Yeah,
got the firepower.
I brought the mafia.
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be
Usually
helping
just bring
investigate this
rocks.
whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Find my...
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic
just
performed on
noticed
such
this.
a large scale.
Their
I appreciate your kind
outfit
interest.
color
Come with me.
accents
We'll be heading below
are
stage.
the exact opposite. Like, I'm talking, in terms of hex codes, those are the opposite. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick.
Because her outfit is a close relative. Yeah, the siblings. Her outfit, the color accents are a close relative to my favorite color, 265 B5F. And his accents are a close relative to its color opposite, 5F2A26. These are opposite, or rather complementary colors. The color values of R, G, and B have been switched. So where she has proper color noting, yeah, her G and B is high while her R is low, and his R is high while his G and B are low, creating this dark maroonish color for him and this dark teal for her.
But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Right.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
The person who was in the box ate them.
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
There's another box.
Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Down, you say?
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
Makes sense.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place.
It's weird that I considered that a possibility in my head.
The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel.
I'm trying to figure out what else on their outfit is like reflecting opposites. I mean, she has a bow tie in the back while he has one in the front. This little, like, cloak is on his right while it's on her left. I guess she also has a bow tie in the front. But it's attached to this as opposed to there. Might be the same.
See this flatbed trolley?
Yeah.
The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
That could have been what that thunk was.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right
Oh yeah,
direction.
Lynette's design is fantastic.
I see.
I love the color
So
combination,
that's the purpose of
and
the
I am
box
not biased
inside
at all.
Another box.
Now I'm like really analyzing the outfits here. This doesn't have a hat, so I can't do anything there. Different colors here. Can't like.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley. All while the outer box would remain on stage, as if nothing had
That
ever
cuff
changed.
is on the opposite leg, it looks like.
So that's how you did it!
They really did go all out with like the opposite
Once the box
designing
was
there.
lowered, the trolley would store
There's a
some
frill
energy
that
through
goes
this device
this way
here,
in the
with which
left
it would
direction,
complete the
and
rest of
this
the
one has a
steps.
frill that goes this way down in the right direction. Interesting.
The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
And what about your side of the trick?
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
The mezzanine space? You're gonna have to tell me what that word means. Actually, she has 2 frills going down center. So no, that's not an opposite. I just only saw half of the outfit and forgot the other half. I have the memory of a goldfish.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
Huh?
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who.
And makeup change as well. And aren't their eye colors
That's my
different?
favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
I can tell a lot of thought was put into this.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would.
Would.
But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime.
Giving criminals.
If we have a look around, I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Now that I think about it, I wonder if I can apply this to any color. If I just take the color values and swap them, can I just take any color and automatically get a color that looks really good with it? I like that. I like that idea a lot. My graphics design is about to literally go up 4 levels. Oh. There's a lot of things to look at here. The control board seems to be able to operate automatically. Okay. Examine ladder. The ladder is required. Okay, makes sense. Aha.
What's this?
It looks like a grappling hook. Or a really fancy looking banana peel. One of the two.
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
When he didn't mention this earlier, nor did he mention the books, or that bag, or these bottles, or this rope, these boxes, you know.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Seems to be a lot of things that got left here.
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
Write that down. We're gonna have like a board, a cork board with everything like lined up to it. It's gonna be like that meme. Investigate clothing. Investigate vase.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Nuh-uh.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Maybe it was for a trick?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear?
Maybe?
And here's a broken vase! Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
Good enough. Look at the direction it fell in.
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Yeah, it'd have to hit it at a really weird angle to project it in that direction as well.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Broken vase. It's a flower vase, but I don't see any flowers.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Lenny didn't mention the guest having a wardrobe change.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them?
What happened to the glasses?
Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Well, whenever Lynette disappeared, her clothing both came with her and it didn't at the same time. Right. Storage boxes. Okay. Examine the trolley. A vent. I might have been right. I might have been right. I think they vented. Looks like a vent.
It seems someone could fit through here.
They really did. No shot.
Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
They vented.
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Other than to go through the magic boxes.
Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Write that down, write that down. The vent. They had to have vented.
Investigating down here.
Can I return to the surface
Yes.
from here?
Let's head back up.
No. I can't believe they actually vented.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
They must have vented.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
It would seem so.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The Oratrice will too.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced.
Indemnitium.
The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
Kind of like the Raiden Shogun.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Fascinating.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
So that machine is the one that actually decides? I thought Neuvillette called the shots.
Yeah, usually that's how that would go.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
What happens if we get hungry? Or thirsty? Do you have burgers?
Because we've
I would
chosen
like
to
a
act as the
burger.
twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case.
But I want a burger.
And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Classic mafia move.
Whoa, there's no need for that. Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just
Boinka.
hope you don't mind the lack
I
of
need a
options. I'm
burger.
afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
You know, about balanced nutrition. A burger, you see.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too.
Do they have a famous dessert called a burger?
I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
If by tea and sweets you mean burger, then yeah.
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Paimon.
Just kidding. Paimon will still do her best,
Burger.
even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
What do you mean simply make some?
Huh? Here? But
Do you have burger materials?
Understood, Demoiselle.
Where?
Everyone, please come with me.
Where are we going?
you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Oh yeah, so am I.
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
The designated oven carrier. Love it.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Designated ingredient carrier. I'm just worried about how long he's been carrying those eggs for.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Must be a Spina Dirzula thing.
And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling.
You don't want to know how long we've been carrying these cabbages for. That's true. They're also everywhere in the dankest caverns. I feel like I remember remarking on the fact that I went into an ancient ruins and pulled out carrots. I'm like, these are the most ancient carrots. Biggest macarons you've ever seen.
The way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around,
The teacup
thought
is as
you'd have
big
to
as
do more during the
Paimon's head.
baking process.
The tea is also pink, which makes me think it's strawberry flavored, and now I want it.
But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
Everything.
And
I
I
was
was giving
applauding.
encouraging smiles.
Oh, that's not quite what Paimon meant, but okay.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you
This
fancy
is,
dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
interesting mafia.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano.
It is a very
I just
nice
really
dress.
enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Just gotta practice the right hook, the left hook, all that stuff. That way you can beat egg whites better.
Only 3?
Burger.
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit.
That tea is not black tea. You cannot tell me this bright pink liquid is black tea. It never ends up like that. Even with milk, it turns like a tannish color. You can't. You need food coloring for that. Thank you.
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be
Awfully
something
difficult
of
to
a
make that
secret
color of
chamber.
tea with food coloring.
However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines.
And they vented.
The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
We're left with 2 other people, the missing girl and the deceased.
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel,
Perhaps.
resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction.
I'm very curious as to how this all happened.
Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
So he turbo changed her?
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence that this third person even exists. Yeah, it does. I'm in third person all the time.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder
That
Cowell
wouldn't-
before making her escape?
That wouldn't make any sense. She had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the Magic Troop's members.
Mm-hmm.
Were we not thorough enough in our search?
It only gave me so many options, Paimon.
From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet!
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest!
It's the guy.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
It's fine. If you ate them, you ate them.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I
Drops to
suppose
the
one of us
ground.
might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Maloose, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
There's really no need.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Designated oven carrier. Designated ingredient character. Carrier. Character works too.
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the two of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
His job is as important as anyone's. Yes. Designated oven carrier.
Alright, thanks for your help and for the snacks.
Where's he keeping that oven?
It was nothing. A small task for the
Where's
Spina
the
di
oven?
Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go.
Maloose, where's the oven?
I'll be back if I find anything new.
Where's the oven, Maloose? Where are you hiding the oven?
Alright, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
Even. Time. It may just be trial time. Oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale. Oh, I didn't even make it all the way down there yet.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
I do have some thoughts, but let's take things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands.
Yep, we have the backing of the Mafia. Nice, even Ray Chase has botched that line. It's a different one, that's for sure. It can be a little difficult.
Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
You know, there is one thing I have to say about voice acting in this game, and it's that making the Traveler, like, mostly silent as the protagonist is really unfortunate because his voice actor is Zach Aguilar. Like, you got a really good voice actor for Aether, and you made him almost a completely silent protagonist. Why would you do that?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No, we're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Zach and Sarah? Oh, Sarah. Sarah's the voice actor for Paimon?
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed.
Unless I'm misremembering
That
names.
was to be expected, of
Which
course.
is possible. I have very
The
bad
guilty
memory.
can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that
Sarah's so
stop
mean.
you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my
That was
most
Karina.
anticipated foe,
I might have them
concede
flipped,
so
though.
easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the
Oh,
trial
boy.
regarding the magic show incident
Here
is
we
now
go.
in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Karina is Paimon. Yeah, I had them flipped in my mind.
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow
Okay.
me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
How?
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
Okay, but do you have any evidence for that?
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption
Objection.
that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Mm-hmm. How could Lenny not know about that
Yeah, I'm
sound?
sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Oh.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
They probably represent the Oratrice's stance on the trial.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have
Oh, I didn't
armed
realize
myself
she
to
was
be
gonna
far
laugh
more
after
than
that.
smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
I like rocks.
Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
Yeah.
The House of the Hearth?
Oh. They're Fatui.
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
He definitely seems like a calm audience member. One man's rock is another man's gem. It's not just a boulder.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now.
Jolie treasure line.
Unless your script already has holes in it.
Osmanthus wine tastes exactly as I remember. Objection! No?
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny! Why didn't you tell us this before?
Linny and Lynette are Fatui. But the Fatui aren't the bad guys, we all know this.
Order! Order! Mr. Linny, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about okay, well, alright. We're doing great. There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others. Given how Linny has concealed his identity, this could all have been set up beforehand. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine along with other house operatives. There must be some scheme at work here. I've been a victim of such schemes before, and now...
Please answer my question, Mr. Linny.
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's not good. The water's getting heavier.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
Oh, no. No. No need for that.
What should we do now?
Objection.
Granted.
My client has withheld some key information.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
Do I sense... No way. Propagandized.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linny's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
I'm an attorney.
In that
This
case,
is my job.
my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Okay.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro-Archon would dig all that up.
Doesn't she see everything in Fontaine?
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I think you're setting the correct tone.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just Hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
That's
I
true.
knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't another lie?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
Understandable.
You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too.
Right.
But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Is he a criminal in other cases?
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Where did you actually go while the trick was being performed?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
They definitely vented.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
Right.
During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box.
Okay.
So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to understand how the Oratrice operates?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
I see.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
I believe in the facts. I will defend you from these charges.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Two Hilly Chills banging on random components with clubs. This is how Fontaine's justice is delivered. I love that. I find that absolutely insane, and I love it. In D&D, we just decide with D20s. Roll a charisma check.
Huh?
The adjournment's almost over. Let's go back.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Shiny click-clack rocks. No, it was just the grounded version of myself. Just throwing rocks at things. I must have seen an aphid.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Okay, ooh, game mechanic? Alright.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud.
Wait, but he wouldn't need... Or no. Okay, wait,
He did
continue.
not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her.
It doesn't...
At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linney red-handed. So Linney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box.
Wait, wasn't Cowell outside of the box, though?
Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his
Or was it a
accomplice
different-
through the magic box in the audience stands,
Different
before
guy.
operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description
He
of
said
the
it.
events?
Objection!
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linney experienced, and what he saw.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so this wasn't it. And this was what? Okay, yeah. What if we use this?
According to Linney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
He vented. Would it have been this one?
Seems this won't...
No. Yeah, it had to be
Linney
either
went
of
to the
these
room
two.
that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Okay. The dress.
Linney did not take part in the
That's
underground
what that
altercation.
was.
He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Okay, so all of this.
Attention!
Objection!
Paimon has something to
Ace
say!
Detective. we're gonna be doing a lot of references, huh?
When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. I have to click.
Immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement.
Yeah, he vented.
Which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room.
Where would we be without Paimon?
He returned immediately.
Probably anywhere. Just about anywhere.
The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Okay. Successful reputation.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
And while wearing those silly glasses too.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Yes. Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
The on-stage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion.
If that's the case, then if Carol hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill?
They are the silliest glasses, I'll have you know.
Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
Approving audience member.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Do you happen to remember how you refuted Linny's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't.
Your claim has now become a critical clue. Well, irrelevant. I like that, that's funny. Well, I'm saying that... Oh, here. Oh, these are all irrelevant. Okay, so it's one of these three.
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent.
He already vented.
The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played.
I selected the right one.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
I'm not here to make accusations. Or maybe I am. Logic chain. Fireworks released. Our tank to fall, yeah. Other members of the troop. By using a box inside a box. Right. Okay.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Uh-huh.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? Could there have been a third person involved? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Oh?
Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact,
You did not believe me.
deceased!
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Okay.
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
Uh-huh.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
How can I prove there was an altercation inside the tunnel?
The sound we heard may have come from...
Prime suspect currently.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Okay. The
It would have
vent.
been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
That doesn't seem right. Yeah, I didn't think so.
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. It would have been tough for
I don't
both
know,
people.
the vent doesn't seem right. No.
No one entered or left the Opera House.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Trying to figure out where Halsey went.
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Escaping from the water tank, they both left behind the clothes.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
Uh-oh. That must be a
If the
timer.
defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Objection!
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave the sound
Right.
we heard may have come from a clash between. The deceased's name is Cowell. The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
There we go.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
Oh, really? I request we examine Cowell's personal effects. We might find something there.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about 2 completely different things.
But would they not have access to the same things?
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment.
Well, you're biased, though.
The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him.
Mm-hmm.
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it,
Too
your
soon.
suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic
Too
for stalling the
soon.
trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence
his
may
shoes
help us
are
make more
awesome.
progress. Guards,
Probably a
please
pain
step
to
into
clean.
the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
We are still
Right.
examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
Water from the... Wait, what now?
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Aw.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times.
Right.
One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Astonished audience member.
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Uh-oh.
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowl was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
The Mafia is moving.
Order!
That had
It is
some
undeniable
impact.
that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some
Genshin
surprising results.
Impact.
But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Yeah. Culprit to use the timing of the dissolution.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. The water from the primordial sea.
I mean, that makes sense, yeah.
The water from the primordial sea should all. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time.
Control the timing of the dissolution.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another
I see.
The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
Hide the mechanism behind the crime.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage I remember there was some...
That? Yes, the something else in the box. The parts, the pieces, the decorations.
It's Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target.
Oh.
When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Oh.
When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
That does make sense.
Approving audience
That
member.
actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Thanks, certain audience member.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Yeah, the people from the drug ring.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
Ooh.
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience,
That would have been what was
to
used
present my reasoning and bring this performance
in
to
the
a
magic
swift
trick, would it
close.
not? Oh, reputation time.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
What?
Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
They're not the bad guys.
Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here.
Are you
Is
sure?
this the end of the road?
Oh.
Oh no.
That's not good.
Either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning.
Flawless with quotation marks.
I believe this is indeed the finale.
Ooh. It is a timer.
Then, my good, noble
objection?
Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Objection.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Okay.
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf.
What?
But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
Mildly confusing, but alright. Let's see where this goes.
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
Not entirely.
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
Lessen your sentence.
I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
What's
Where should
going
I
on
begin?
here?
I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that
Aw.
Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
That was her.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me.
Nab.
I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they're a practiced hand at concealment, probably.
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Wait, then that leaves the question. Who tampered with the rope, and why?
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a few pieces of evidence. We'll get rid of this one first. No. No. This one? No? I don't... This is really, really confusing. I don't know how any of these are supposed to play into here.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Okay, I wasn't thinking about it like that.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but it was smashed during the struggle between Lily-Ann and Cowl.
Okay, so it's trying to write the narrative, not refute each individual claim.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
And it's Ace Detective time on time!
Alrighty.
Being selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box.
Right.
The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Even.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days.
She had already
Must
become
be quite
desperately
parched.
hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
Ah.
Sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
The rope, it was still tampered with.
Bravo! Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
Shocked.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow, look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now.
Again, too soon.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
The rope was tampered with. Why?
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the water
So it
loss.
still was about the cover-up then, I see.
He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim.
Reset time?
Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Ah, yeah. Because it's 4 in the morning.
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least,
It'd be
can be
funny
handed
if
over to
something
the
popped
Oratrice
up
to
that
make
said
the final
recent.
decision.
Ooh. This would be a really neat wishing animation.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn.
Oh.
How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Oh.
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
Coupon Town. The Fortress of Merivede.
I was just following orders.
Oh yeah, we heard that one before, huh?
We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration.
What?
We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
Oh. Cyanide pill moment. He turned into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
It's the Abyss Order.
An outrageous act.
Truly.
All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Without a trace.
So, we're just going back now?
We're not needed here anymore.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Winnie...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me.
But
still,
wait, why?
Let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't want to see anyone be falsely accused.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here,
New sentence.
I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks.
Just a couple days.
I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too.
Reminds me of those really bad mobile
we
ads.
could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
Right.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
Almost got cascaded.
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Villains.
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
All in the past, though.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy
So once again, the Fatui are not the bad guys.
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine. And we will always defend our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
What do you mean? I can definitely trust you.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
I understand.
Bye, Linny.
Oh, that took quite some time. It's not gonna, it's another cutscene, okay.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navi?
Well,
Whoops.
this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
What am I apologizing for?
What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides,
I was really only trying to defend Lenny.
are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now?
Didn't we just solve it? Was that guy? That guy was doing it?
Given
I
that
guess
there's
there was
new
the
evidence
boss.
from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah. I see.
I see it is an agency, isn't it?
I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Oh, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too.
I mean, I don't mind the Mafia.
It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me.
Okay.
Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Oh boy.
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Well, if you say so.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navi is treating, count Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
Burger. Fantastic. That is what I wanted to do, because that completes my commissions today. Why would I teleport to Mons? Doesn't make much sense. Right over here.
Ad Astra. Thank you for
Fantastic. Achievements. $589 achievements now. We have 57 wishes, which we can actually bump up. Nope, that's not right. That one. Yeah, there's nothing else I can turn into faith. Who am I rolling next? I don't know. I have no idea. Because I don't plan on getting... however you pronounce her name. Stitchwini. And I already have Furina. Where is she? Where? There she is. I already have Furina. So I'm just waiting until the next ones are ready to go. We're at 58 wishes, and I still don't know what I want to do. I ended up accidentally getting, where is it? Yeah, I accidentally got Alhytham and Chlorind at one. Well, how many wishes between these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got them literally right next to each other. So I now have 58 wishes, and I have no idea what to do with them. I actually had like 20 something by the end of it, like 29, 30 something wishes, and I had no idea what to do with them because I got Chlorind early and Alhytham early, and now I don't know what to do. What do I do about this? But, it is really late for me now. It is 4:17 in the morning. So while I would still play under any other circumstance, I have to be up earlier tomorrow. Or technically today. And I didn't plan for it to go on for this long. So thank you all so much for watching. We're going to do the regular, the regular thing that I like to do. I throw a wish on the standard. Don't scare me. And I now have C8 in it. How lovely. And you know what we can do with that? We can turn it into another fate. Now we have 59 faith. I just converted. I just converted fates. Look at that.
Something you wish to report?
I'm gonna 1-for-1 right there.
You have my undivided
My
attention.
Benny, you see. Thanks to this banner, he is C6, which, for the team I intend to use him on, getting C6 is good.
There'll be an extra fee for that.
Apparently there's gonna be an extra fee. So, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who tuned into the stream live. Yeah, he is great with Arda. That's why I have... That's why I have him on this team like this. Yeah, this team does go pretty hard. I got Arlecchino a lot. I have her weapon, as you may have seen earlier. It's a great, fantastic team. I love this team. And he's also C3. I planned on getting her to C2, but I was gonna go ahead and pull everything I could get until the banner ended, and like one of my last pulls on the banner got me C3. While the team isn't completely built yet, it is neat to see how unbelievably well it works. And before I really pulled on the banner a whole lot, I said C3 is definitely a stopping point. Anything further and it's not exactly too useful.
As one with wind and cloud.
Please do not.
I'm going in.
Yeah. That wasn't excellent, but it definitely didn't live for very long. So the team works. But yeah. In order to test her damage, I like to bully plants. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who tuned into the stream live, and thank you to everybody tuning in after the stream has already concluded. It's been a very fun stream tonight, and all very much appreciated. Caliburn, out.